All right, so tonight I want to talk about the human aura, scientific evidence for it. I mean, once I get the kids settled here, maybe we can really get rolling. Oh, what's up, Electric Lady? What's up, Amber? What's up, Roman? Him Edits, Bob the Monkey. What up, everyone? How's everyone doing tonight? Marlo, Lagrada, what's good? What's good, everyone? Awesome to see so many people here. I'm gonna share this out to Facebook and try to get some of my people to show up. Maybe I can get some of the regulars in here. I usually go live Sunday, so most of my people weren't expecting this, but it's all good. We're gonna see what we can do here. I want to talk about the human aura, scientific evidence for it, what the mystics might say about it, and get into some of the practical applications of understanding it. What happens here? These are live dream sessions. I usually talk about dreams, dream psychology, ancient symbolism, quantum physics, anything that relates to or can add to the suggested evidence of dreams and the effect that they might have on us in our everyday life. Practical applications, tips and tricks. Can I be a moderator? I'm not sure how that works, but sure. Yo, you subscribed? Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yo, I really appreciate it. Yeah. Uh yo, you people are crazy. I do these live sessions on Facebook every week, but I'm trying to bring it over to YouTube here and see how the engagement is. All ears. Let's go. All right, cool. I need to make you a moderator. Yo, I don't know how that works. Hopefully make me. Yo, how do I make people moderators? I don't even understand how that works. In my Facebook groups, I have my regular moderators in there, but like I said, I usually go live Sundays on Facebook. I'm trying to switch it over to YouTube. Yo, thank you all for the engagement. I appreciate it. Showing up with lots of love here. Beautiful. I'm the only one with the power. Tap on their profile and click moderator. Can we have more than one moderator? Yo, as long as whoever's gonna be the moderator, hopefully. Okay. Alright. Can we have more than one moderator? That's what I'm okay. Alright, I'm gonna add some moderators. Hopefully you people don't mess nothing up. I don't know, is that even possible? Oh, just be careful. Yeah, see? Alright, well, I just added 2 of you. Hopefully you guys don't mess me up here. If that's the case, I'm gonna drop this live and I'll restart it. And yeah, I guess I gotta be careful about that. Yeah, just, I don't need anyone adding no nonsense, wild comments in there and talking a bunch of crazy stuff. That's all I'm worried about. Other than that, like, we're good. I'm open for anything. These are supposed to be like dream sessions, but I'm open to anything. If I don't want to talk about it, I'm not going to talk too much about it. But okay, they can handle the chat while I talk. Yo, thank you, everyone. Like I said, I'm new to this YouTube live stuff. So my Facebook username, uh, Dan Cripps, you can find me, but DK Dreamkeeper, D.K space Dream space Keeper. You can find me on all platforms. Yeah, I would appreciate it. Okay. Cool. Thank you, everyone. Very cool. I wouldn't mind sharing this out to Facebook real quick, just to get maybe I could get some of my regular people in here. I don't know. I don't want to bore no one. It usually takes me like a good 20 minutes or so to get set up and everything. But what's the agenda for this stream? The agenda is to talk about like I said, it's their live dream sessions. Usually we talk about dreams, lucid dreaming, astral projection, the nature of reality, things like that. I'll do deep dives on ancient symbolism, sacred geometry, even a lot of modern science that might help support some of these theories, quantum physics and stuff like that. How do I make merch? I do it through Printify is the company that I use. And they honestly, I can make anything through them. I got, like, backpacks, blankets, even shoes, hats, hoodies, jackets, everything. So, yeah, if you I mean, I have my own separate site, but that only works in the US, and, if you go on Etsy and look up DK Dreamkeeper, you'll find a lot of my merchandise on there. Okay, yeah, definitely, hopefully this is gonna share out to my Facebook here. I'm working on that. I don't like most my regular people know I don't have my actual computer set up right now, so that's kind of slows things down here. But it's cool. Uh yeah, I don't even need to be sharing this out to Facebook. Most of my regular people will definitely see the replay. And then I usually take these can Chromebook work on like making merch? Yeah. Yeah, you can do it from your Chromebook. You can actually do it from your phone. It's tough when it comes to, like, having to upscale some of the images. You gotta make sure that, you have high enough quality images so that when they scale up, they're not gonna be blurry, but you could do it from your phone. Honestly, you could do it from anything, and, yeah, if you go to, Printify actually, I don't I used to have a $1 deal for them, but you could go to Printify, you can use them for free, and when people order it, that's when they get charged for it, so you don't have to pay upfront for any of it. I actually have a membership through them, so I pay a couple $100 a year, and that gives you some of the products cheaper and gives you some better shipping times and stuff, but yeah, check out Printify. They're a great company. Right now, they're merging with another one called Printful. But yeah, and you could set up your own shop on there. But tonight the agenda is to talk about the human aura. I want to talk about scientific evidence for it and what the mystics say about it, and how we can use some of that information to apply it to our everyday life and to maybe even help the people in the world around us potentially. GQ podcast, yo, what up, Jay? Is that Jay Davila out there? What up, homie? Yo, everyone, anyone watching, go to gqland.com. Isn't that what it is? Yeah. I mean, I love science. Yeah, yeah. We're gonna get into some of that. We'll definitely get into the science behind auras because there's a lot actually. And I honestly, I'm a strong believer in the merge of ancient mysticism and a lot of what the ancient religions and spiritual practices talk about. It seems to be merging with a lot of modern day science. So, and that this is just one other aspect of that. So, what are auras? Most people have heard of them, but they don't really understand exactly what they are. In traditional terms, the aura is just the field of energy that surrounds the body. In mysticism, they teach that there's an aura surrounding everything, every living thing. And this aura usually radiates in a pattern based on the chakra system. And I did a video last week about the chakra system. So when I'm done with this one, I will plug that one in the comments. But you guys should be able to find that up on my page. It was the live session from last week about the human chakras. So the aura is the field that's emitted from the human body. You see auras all the time. Okay, see, that's the thing about this. A lot of people don't even believe in them because they've never seen them. But what a lot of people don't realize is that even if you don't see them, you can definitely feel them. I think we've all been in a situation where we walked into a room and we felt the energy. And most of us understand that even without any words being said to another person, sometimes you can sense their energy. And this is not some wild mysticism. This is, do I believe in jinns? I did an entire episode about angels and demons where I went into great depth on some of those concepts. And yeah, we talked about the jinn. By the way, the best company to use for editing all your videos is CapCut. I use CapCut. That's exactly what I use. Yep. Thank you. You're right. I love CapCut. My biggest issue with it is that it compresses the audio a lot and it kind of it definitely distorts the audio quality, but there's ways around that, and so I'm working on that. But I believe, yeah, I believe the jinns they are I believe they're the personification of a lot of the shadow aspects of human personality. But yeah, I have a whole nother video about that. Actually, I'm working on editing the live version of that video, and I'm adding a bunch of graphics and stuff to it. It's going to be like an hour-long deep dive. So yeah, I definitely address that, and I'll be dropping that video soon. But the human aura. So even for people that don't believe in the aura, modern science has a lot of evidence surrounding the potential existence of the aura. You've seen ghosts and you've seen a prophet once. Really? Yeah, in your waking life, have you seen these things without hallucinogenics? That's that's the big one. But, we're gonna talk about hallucinogenics towards the end here, and actually, they that might not be any less valid than a sober mind. In your waking life, yes, okay, yeah, yeah. Honestly, I see auras almost every day, and I don't wanna sound crazy when I say that, but it's real, and even for people who can't see it, like I said, you can feel it, and you can definitely teach yourself to see it. You and a friend saw it at the same time, interesting, okay. Who was the prophet that you saw? I'm curious. Or do you know? What was the prophet's name? Is it was it a historical prophet or a strictly metaphysical prophet? I'm curious. Oh, you saw Christ. Okay. Was he white? Was he light skinned? I gotta ask. A lot of the times these beings that we might see, they may manifest themselves in the most suitable way for us to experience them. So a lot of these multidimensional beings can take on many shapes and forms. But I'm curious, was it the black Jesus or the white Jesus? I gotta ask. I wonder. Um, yeah, so man, are you trying to tell me who to vote for? Was a light brown and his hair was not that long. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. He was a light brown. Okay, well, that definitely makes it seem more valid. Uh, Interesting, yeah. And I'm assuming that when you saw this prophet, did he have an aura? He came out of a portal. Yeah, probably a wormhole or a vortex. Ronaldo or Messi? What is that? Are you trying to tell me to vote for someone? Because if that's the case, that's not what this conversation is about, man. And I'm not voting for no one. And I didn't vote for any of the presidents, and choosing not to choose is still a choice, and sometimes silence has a powerful voice. So, he had an aura. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna get into that. Yeah, oh, they're 2 soccer players. Oh, what am I gonna do with them? My son plays soccer. He's good. He won his 1st season, came in 2nd place for the last season, but okay, it looked like he was being projected like an old projector. Interesting. Like an old movie. Okay, I get it. I get it. Fascinating. Fascinating. Okay. Well, yeah, there's been a lot of depictions of of higher beings almost always surrounded in these auras. So again, for people, he was on the cross. Okay. For a lot of the people who uh who who say they've never seen an aura before, like I always tell them, you've definitely felt them, and we've all seen them depicted in art throughout history, in all different types of art, actually. Yeah, we're gonna get into that, but so what's my son's name? Elijah, and I named him after Elijah the prophet, not Eli Manning. Yeah, so oh, I think most of us understand that all living beings emit some sort of energy. Science shows that not just all living things, but everything emits an electromagnetic field, literally everything. The electromagnetic field that humans emit from their body, also from different parts of the body, we'll get into that. Oh yeah, yeah. I wasn't gonna give out my son's name. Maybe I shouldn't have, but what if he's a hacker? He can hack down my son. I guess. I mean, my son doesn't have anything or do anything online, so whatever. Uh, Nothing that's connected to anything. But yeah, you're right. Uh, Hopefully he doesn't hack my shit. So yeah, I won't dox myself. I won't give out any more information. But honestly, most of my stuff is public anyway. Uh, I mean, my Facebook's public, and it's all love out there. Hopefully, and if he does hack my shit, I got a couple really good people with that stuff. Actually, homie should be tuning into this podcast any minute here. Um, but yeah, thank you, Bob the Monkey, for keeping. Yeah, let's not get off track. Back off, Marlo. um, yeah, all living things emit electromagnetic fields. I think most of us understand that. There's been most people are familiar with the Mythbusters experiments where they showed that they can affect plants with their thoughts from a distance, and a few others that they did. There's also the experiments by Masaru Emoto where he showed that his thoughts and his feelings can affect the molecular structure of water. I have a whole other video about that. But recently there's an organization called the Institute of Heart Math that has been for like the last 10, 15 years has been really making some breaking discoveries in this field. The Institute of Heart Math studies the human heart and the electrical components within it and surrounding it. And they've come up with all types of experiments to show and measure how you can detect the electromagnetic field of the human heart at least 3 feet away from it. And they've also found that when two human hearts get in a close vicinity, these hearts can synchronize. The electromagnetic frequency of these hearts can synchronize. They can become syncopated and start to match. And that is the basis for homeostasis in human connection. Jay, you said the ghost you saw looked like the ring girl, and she was the ghost you and your friend saw, so you looked it up to see if anyone else saw it. And so many people saw that same ghost around the same month. Hmm. So maybe she represents some sort of archetype in that dimension. We in the Angels and Demons episode, I talked about a lot of the different female archetypes. I wonder, was it a succubus? Was it Lilith? Or what is recognized in medieval terminologies as Lilith? I don't know. Yo, Marlo, you better not be trying to hack my shit, man. Am I gonna get kicked off of here for cursing? I wonder. Facebook's never given me any problems with anything. So, yeah, back to the human aura. The Institute of Heart Math has proven over and over with different experiments that the electromagnetic frequency emitted by the human heart can is measured at least 3 feet away. They say about 3 to 5 feet. And I don't think there's any reason to believe that we can't amplify that. Oh, no, only if you're like a 13-year-old, 10-year-old, 5-year-old cussing, you can get kicked off of. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. What about what about smoking? Because I know I was smoking something on TikTok, and I think they cut off my live stream a while ago. I don't know how strict YouTube is about that. But I mean, I'm not gonna be cursing too much anyway. But yeah, so with these studies that the Institute of Heart Math has done, they've also learned that there's different coherent rhythms in the electromagnetic frequency that's emitted by the heart. And they've lined up different hundreds of people and studied hundreds of different participants to link their emotions with the changes in that electromagnetic frequency. So for positive emotions, there's usually a smooth, coherent rhythm in these waves. And for depressed people or stressed out people, it's usually a more erratic, irregular frequency that's emitted from the heart. Oh, you said TikTok is strict as fuck. Yeah. Yeah, okay. YouTube's not cool. That's good to know. Thank you. Because honestly, I always do these on Facebook and I've never had any issues over there. So yeah, very cool. Um, Yeah, there's also besides the Institute of Heart Math, which, I would definitely recommend anyone looking them up. They have all types of interesting experiments on this stuff. But there's also a lady named Dr. Valerie Hunt from the University of California of Los Angeles, and she would measure the electromagnetic fields around the human body and correlate them with changes in emotional and physiological states, just like the Institute of Heart Math, but she took these studies a little bit farther and she really mapped them out for people. I would really recommend anybody looking her up too. So more evidence, from the perspective of quantum physics, if you follow the standard model of particle physics, which is by far the most successful model in science, not just in physics, but in science in general. It has been the most successful in predicting uh, orderly states of matter. Jay, you said you interviewed a guy recently on your podcast, and he said he saw the same exact ghost you saw around the same time. When did you see it? When did you see that ghost? I'm curious. Was there something to the date? Because again, I have an upcoming session I'm going to be doing on numerology too, and that's going to connect a lot of dots between significant events in the human timeline and specific dates. And with the numerology, I skipped a lot of the nonsense because there is a lot of nonsense in that field that makes it pretty cloudy. But so yes, in the standard model of particle physics, from that perspective, that says that every single thing can be reduced down to some type of particle. Even forces, there's different particles for matter, and there's particles for forces. And we've talked about that. Some of them are still theoretical, but most of them have been well established and proven up to this point. So, okay, August 15th, 2009. Okay, I can't break that. I don't want to get too deep on that right now, but that is interesting. I'm gonna look that up and look into that. I wonder if there's really more to that. I'm sure there is, especially if it resonates with you. If you really feel deep down like there's some significance there. But I want to talk about resonance in general because, like I said, from the view of the standard model of particle physics, every single thing is a particle. Every particle is creating a wave, and we're constantly surrounded by these waves. Every single thing around us is creating a wave in the fabric of space-time at all times. Bob the monkey, what is that? What does that mean? I don't know what those are. I think most of us understand. So it's well established that we are emitting electromagnetic frequencies. Like I said, the Institute of Heart Math measures the frequency of the heart from a distance, but we also know that the brain emits electromagnetic frequencies, and our neurons inside of our brain are actually producing electricity. Our neurons produce electricity. I think that's just fascinating. And so does our heart. So, but the electromagnetic field of the heart is actually, I think it was something like 20 to 30 times stronger than the field that's emitted from the brain. So the frequency of the heart is stronger than the frequency of the brain. You said it was a little girl, a white girl with jet black hair and a white dress. She had an aura that was a rainbow. Okay, we're gonna talk about rainbow auras. And she looked like a real person, but she had like static from an old TV, like that black and white static when you don't have cable. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. I wonder, is that how everyone described it? Because I wonder, sometimes I've had these dreams where usually the way that I've seen things laid out in documentary form, I've almost been in dreams, and I've had comments on some of my videos of other people talking about that, where information is displayed to them in, like, a documentary type of form. Maybe because TVs are, like, a comfortable medium for you to absorb things through. What time is it for me? 8:38 right now. I usually do these sessions later at night, but it is 8 PM, 8:30 PM at night. What time is it for you? Where are you at, Bob the Monkey? What part of the world are you located in generally? I'm in the northeast of the US. But yeah, so understanding that the heart emits these frequencies, the brain emits this frequency, every single atom that we're made up of emits an electromagnetic frequency. That's pure science. I know most of us are well aware of the fact that we don't actually touch anything. We've heard that when you try to touch something, there you're actually separated by the electromagnetic field that's emitted from the atoms. Oh, same time for you? Kentucky. Okay, cool, cool. Shout out to Kentucky, man. Yo, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Um, yeah, so we never actually touch anything because physically we're separated by these electromagnetic fields. But my argument would be that maybe we're not physically ever touching anything, but energetically we're always touching everything. If everything is emitting these electromagnetic fields, and these electromagnetic fields are constantly interfering with each other and affecting each other, then in a sense, we're actually always touching everything. And that also is another way to explain how everything is connected in every type of way all throughout the universe, because we know that even in the vacuum of space, it's not empty. We've never actually Scientists have never actually found a perfect vacuum. There's always something that's traveling through all space as we know it, not even including dark matter and dark energy, which comprises at least 75% of the entire universe, and we don't even know what it is. So, my point is that we're all emitting frequencies at all times from all directions, and these frequencies have an effect on each other. These frequencies collide and affect each other. And that's called resonance. In the same way that it's interesting, like if you have two guitars side by side, if you were to pluck the E string on one guitar, the E string on the other guitar will start to vibrate more subtly, but it will still, the E string that's aligned with that frequency of the one that you pluck, that will be the one that responds to it. It's also shown a lot with, like, tuning forks. People will bang a tuning fork, and it'll make a frequency, and then the tuning fork right next to it will start to vibrate at that frequency. And the way these frequencies work is that if you play two frequencies that synchronize with each other, they form what's called constructive interference. And if they're at the right frequency together and they match up correctly, because frequencies, they travel in waves. So if you have two different frequencies that are vibrating together, and if they're vibrating at the same frequency or relative frequency, if these two waves meet at the same time, they'll make a bigger wave. And the same thing happens with sounds and even in water. If two waves meet at the same time at their peak, it's going to make one bigger wave. And that's called constructive interference. So understanding that is how we can tune in we can get in tune with people around us and even objects around us just by switching our frequency, our energy field. And I know a lot of this sounds like some wacky stuff, but it actually makes perfect sense. And even if you don't believe in auras from the mystical sense, even if you don't believe that they're like the essence of life or a human soul or anything, it's still good to understand that we emit these frequencies, whatever you believe the cause of them is. So, but and then the other thing is, besides constructive interference, if you have two frequencies that are vibrating at different rates and they don't match up, they can cancel each other out, or it can just lessen the other one. So like I said, they travel in waves. If one wave that's at its peak meets with another one that's at a dip, it's going to cancel out that wave. Same thing happens with water, and the same thing happens with sound, and that's actually how noise canceling headphones work. The noise canceling headphones emit a frequency that causes destructive interference with the incoming frequency. So that's constructive interference and destructive interference. So this shows how someone's vibe can kind of throw us off. And maybe that also explains why dogs seem to have a certain sense about people. I think we all understand that. I know lots and lots of people who have seen that firsthand and told me about that firsthand, and I've witnessed it too. It's funny how these animals seem to have an intuitive understanding. So the human aura in ancient mysticism, it was always described in layers, different layers, and every layer is associated with a different chakra. And like I said, we talked about the chakras last week. So there's at least 7 layers to the human aura, but the auras, they're not static. They don't stay the same. They change, they shift, and that's why people talk about seeing different colors, because different chakras emit different colors. Now, the issue here with trying to see them is that the electromagnetic frequencies that humans emit with their bodies that we can measure with different instruments, those are in the ELF and the RF range, and that's extremely low frequency and radio frequency range, which are really far below the visible electromagnetic spectrum. So then the question is, how do we see them, and can people really see them? Well, there's definitely a lot of evidence to show that people definitely can see them. There's a condition called synesthesia where different people can associate sounds with different colors. And this is a condition that some people are born with, some develop it in early childhood, whether through learning patterns or sometimes trauma. And then you can also develop this later on in life with different brain injuries and things like that. What up, Robert Capshaw? If that's your name, what up, man? Um, yeah, so synesthesia, people associate, and it's not just sounds with colors, but that's one of the conditions. They can also ascribe different colors with different shapes or different letters. So these people will associate a color or a word or a letter or a word with a certain color. So they'll say like the letter A feels like a blue to them, which doesn't, like logically, that doesn't seem to make any sense to us. But through understanding these shifts of frequency, I think it makes perfect sense. A lot of them will say that different sounds evoke images or colors. So when they hear certain frequencies or songs, they literally see these lights or these shapes around them. What am I doing? I'm talking about the human aura and scientific evidence for it, what it means, what it's described as throughout the history of mysticism, and how we can use the knowledge of the aura and the understanding of it to hopefully improve our lives and to even help the people around us and even the world around us. So, yeah, some people, or some of those, some people that suffer from synesthesia, they also, like, certain words can trigger tastes in their mouths. So the whole point of this condition is that we convert different certain sensations into other ones, and there's no reason to believe that we're not all capable of this. This is a condition, like I said, some people are born with it. Sometimes it's onset with trauma and conditioning or brain injury, but it just goes to show that we all have the potential to tap into that. And maybe people who are more sensitive to seeing the colors of the human aura have that same part of their brain that's active as these people that suffer from this condition or people that experience this condition. But we can also see them through a process called Kirlian photography. And the basis for this is was really discovered from Nikola Tesla around 1890. He experimented with energy fields and bioelectricity in a lot of different ways, but it didn't get popular. It wasn't really established until about 1939. And that's when it. Am I going live streaming tomorrow? Probably not. No, I do these live streams once a week, every week. So usually Sunday nights, but yeah, tonight I decided to hop up on Friday. But yeah, Kirlian photography, that's where people can literally take a picture of your aura for you. And it's no nonsense. It's real. Now again, whether or not that aura is your essential life force or what some would call prana, the universal flow of life energy, you could we could speculate and debate that all day, but Kirlian photography is a real thing, and people really can take a picture of the energy around your body, and it does show up as different colors. Check out my shop for get yourself a DK Dreamkeeper mug. Some of those are, I just put up some new ones actually. But, yeah, so Kirlian photography was established in 1939, didn't really gain popularity until the '60s and '70s, and still to this day, you can find it. When I visit Salem once a year, there's usually different shops set up there where you can go get a picture of your aura taken. And the way that works is they just send high voltage electricity through the air, and they put a flat plate behind you, and this ionizes the air around you, and it emits this light. It's although it's different at its basis, it is fundamentally the same thing as what we see when we're witnessing the aurora borealis, actually. It's the same phenomenon. It's the ionization of the electrical particles in the air. So, and just like we've been talking about, every living being emits an electromagnetic field. The planet Earth also has its electromagnetic field that we're all aware of. And electromagnetism always works in polarity. It's dipolar, so you always have the north and the south of it. And the same thing goes for the human body. The top of the chakra, or the top of the aura, it flows up through the crown chakra, and then it circles back down to the root chakra in a shape that's called the torus, or the toroidal flow. So the Earth's magnetic field also works in this toroidal flow, and magnets in general work in this with the north and the south charge. The toroidal flow is basically just a continuous closed loop motion that's shaped like a donut, or it can be a stretched donut, but the energy, or it could be fluids, because this is applied in everyday practical physics. The fluid, or the energy, flows from south to north in the center, and then out from the north to south on the outside, and it's almost a donut shape, it's a self-sustaining, self-regulating, and self-balancing system of energy flow. And like I said, the magnetic field of the Earth flows in the same shape. Now, again, the shape can get stretched and can be manipulated and can be amplified, but generally the energy still flows in that same direction. The What's known as the toroidal flow. And also everything, the electromagnetic fields of every atom around us, they also flow in a toroidal motion. So this is expressed by literally everything. And like I said, everything has an aura, everything emits an electromagnetic field, not just living things, every single thing around us, especially some of the most powerful are crystals and gemstones. And this is where, I mean, I've got my obsidian quartz necklace here, but this is where a lot of people who say, like gemstones are just rocks, and they might think it's a bunch of nonsense how people carry these and believe that they might have some sort of magical powers. But it's real. It's widely established actually that these things can have an effect on our electromagnetic frequencies and the frequencies of things around us. Um Yeah, so I mean, we have to think about like prisms, how a prism can split the light of an electron of the electromagnetic spectrum. Other crystals also exhibit some of the same properties. The different vibrational modes of a crystal depend on its atomic structure. And there's something called the piezoelectronic property. Quartz is one of the crystals that has this property, and that's why it's so widely used. I mean, every cell phone has quartz in it, quartz crystal that they use because of the way that it is manipulated and converts this electromagnetic energy. But the piezoelectronic properties, that just shows that with different pressures and different mechanical or electrical stress, these crystals generate electric charges. And that's why they use quartz in so much of the technology, the clocks, the phones, GPS, everything around us, really. There's also the electrode application where they emit an electric frequency into these things, and they can literally charge them. But it doesn't just take a direct electric frequency to charge them. There's other ways to do it. There's something they call excitons in absorption, and that's literally just you put your crystal in the light, especially the sunlight, and that's why some people charge their crystals in the moonlight, and it literally builds the electromagnetism inside of this crystal. And this is no nonsense. Everything I'm saying here tonight, I would love for everyone to double check and try to fact check me on it, because I was really careful with this research to not mix in any nonsense with this stuff, because I mean, I had to suffer through hundreds of different videos on the human aura and toroidal fields and crystals and gemstones, which, I've done that my whole life. But recently, in like the last week, I've really been hitting it hard. And there's just so much misinformation out there. It's actually unbelievable. But yeah, so can people see auras without Kirlian photography? I know, Jay, you said that you've seen them before. I think most people have experienced it even if they don't realize it. So, how can we see the aura? You know, what are the ways that people teach us to see them? Just like when you know, you may see things every day but not actually notice them. I think when you start to set the intention to see the aura, you're more likely to notice it, just literally through the awareness and the intention. They say that you have to see the aura through the third eye. Now, I don't like the way that a lot of the mystics and the gurus put it, because you literally can't physically see something with your third eye. It's inside of your head. But the third eye can allow you to see things with your physical eyes that you otherwise probably wouldn't. And this is easy to understand once we talk about some of the neurochemistry behind it. Most of us know that the third eye, the pineal gland, produces DMT, and DMT is a highly potent psychoactive hallucinogenic that our brains produce it naturally, and they produce it mostly when we're dreaming, which is interesting. But also when, people do different types of hallucinogenic drugs, or through breathing exercises and meditation, you can ramp up the DMT that's being produced by your pineal gland, and then it gets released out into your body. And DMT will cause people to see things that others would say are not there. Lots of people report seeing auras or extra colors when they're trying DMT. So, tapping into your third eye, Marlo Lagrada, what up, man? I hope you didn't go hack my shit. Is that what you were doing? Did you just go to look up my son's name and try to hack me? I hope not. I have faith in humanity, even though they fuck things up a lot. But okay, you didn't. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, it might sound crazy when the gurus tell you you have to open your third eye to see your chakra. You're not a hacker? Okay. I mean, that's exactly what a hacker would say, right? Nah, it's cool, man. But like I said, I don't. The third eye is inside of the brain, the pineal gland, and you can't physically see anything with it, but it can allow your physical eyes to perceive things that they otherwise wouldn't, usually through releasing this DMT. So, if you want to see the human aura, you literally just have to focus on the area where your third eye would be. And you can even close your eyes. And I have a bunch of videos on my page about visualization practices. I will definitely plug them in the comments when I'm done with all this. And those tips are great, and they can actually help you see the human aura faster. And I didn't even that's not the reason why I made those tips, but that's what they're there for. Simple things like one of them was to look at a light, a bright light, and then close your eyes, and you'll see the memory of that light on the inside of your eyelids. If you're having trouble with it, literally, just look at a bright light, and if you really still can't see it, you can gently rub your eyelids, and you'll start to see these almost kaleidoscope type of patterns on the inside of your eyelids. A great way to train your third eye, or to strengthen your third eye, is to close your eyes and try to manipulate the memory of these lights that you see. And the scientific name for them, they're called phosphenes. Like phosphorescence. It's the memory of the light that you can see when you close your eyes. And uh, once you start to practice with these, you can start to shape them. You could start to change the color of them and manipulate them in different ways. You can even turn them into scenes and vivid imagery. And that's a great visualization practice. But another one is, there's so many different meditations out there that you could try that help you activate your third eye chakra. But really, just focusing and setting the intention to build the energy in that area is what can help you, and eventually you'll start to see these glowing orbs around people. There's a great book called The Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield, where he talks about going into the mountains of Peru and studying with these different shamans, and he goes through this garden, and it's you'll find this also as a tip in a lot of different videos and books. But one thing that these people were practicing and that you can practice at home is to literally just hold up your fingers up against a solid color background, usually a white background or maybe even a darker color. And if you unfocus your eyes, if you look at them, if you look at the space in between your fingers, but let your eyes go out of focus so that you're almost looking with your peripheral, or not focused but still looking in that direction. Sometimes you'll start to see the area between your fingers look lighter and lighter, and you might even see what can look like a little white wisp of smoke or light in between your fingers. And that's one of the ways that I started out doing it. You can also hold your hand up against like a flat background and just look for that glowing around your hand. Sometimes you might have to focus just to a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right of your hand, or focus on it dead center and just let your eyes go out of focus, and you'll start to see it. And especially if you practice it a few times a day, it might take a few days, might even take a few weeks, but most people can train themselves to see this. I've never met anyone who's tried to see it over a period of time and failed. So I believe that anyone has the potential to. Now you might say we're creating hallucinations through the power of suggestion, and that's possible. But what are hallucinations? Maybe some hallucinations are just us tapping into some other reality, because I mentioned it before, especially in my particles and waves video, how we don't see the full electromagnetic spectrum. We know that there are waves and colors and forces that are all around us and that affect us and influence everything around us, that are beyond our visible spectrum. But with the right tools, we can see them, we can detect them, and we can measure them, and we can experience them. I think that our eyes are the ultimate adaptable tool. We just have to train them to see these things. So, uh, yeah, and then also if you're trying to see the auras, and this was also in that book, The Celestine Prophecy, you don't always have to look for human auras or try to look at your own hand or anything. But like for me personally, trees have a strong, steady aura. It's not as irregular as the human aura. It's not nearly as erratic as the human aura. Like trees and plants have a really beautiful, uh, like majestic aura about them, especially like a big, strong, healthy tree. Very, very, very powerful, very beautiful once you get into this. So, not just trees, but literally everything. If you have gemstones or crystals at home, try to try to tune your mind to the crystalline structure of that crystal, and you can build a resonant frequency like we were talking about before. Like they've studied in the Institute of Heart Math. You can build a resonant frequency with these crystals and literally charge them, and there's a flow of information. Just like the electromagnetic field of the heart carries emotional information with it. And like I said, this has been studied over and over again. Your emotional states directly reflect what frequency your heart is emitting, and your brain. They also learned that the frequency of the heart directly affects the frequency of the brain and vice versa. But the interesting thing to note here is that the electromagnetic field of the heart is about 30 times more powerful than the field of the brain. So that may be why our emotions have such a strong impact on our physical state and our mental state. But of course, you can shift your mental state and feed back and influence the frequency of your heart as well through intention. And you can build these frequencies and you can amplify them just through focus and breath work and intention. So, and it's crazy because last night I had this dream, and I don't talk about my dreams personally on these things, even though these are dream sessions. The point here is not for me to talk about my dreams, but very interesting because last night I knew I had to go live, and I knew I was making this video about auras, and I was gonna go live on Sundays like I usually do. And I was sitting there thinking about how I have to get all my notes together and everything and make sure I got my information in order. And I wanted to go back through and just fact check everything that I was saying. And I was like, I'm not gonna have my notes ready by Sunday because I've got so much to do. I got to pick up my girl from the airport and stuff, and I'm chopping wood and just cooking dinner for the kids, everything. Gave the dog a bath, like and so I had this dream last night, and I didn't realize it until like an hour or two after I woke up. It hit me when I was driving, but in this dream, it literally just showed me it was me sitting here at my desk looking over my notes, and it was my notes were blank, and I was wondering where they all went, but I zoomed out, and that's when I remembered what my notes were about was the human aura, and I started to see these glowing orbs around my house, around all the houses in the community. As I zoomed out, I saw them around all the trees, and then I just kept zooming out, and I saw that toroidal flow around the entire earth, and I could zoom in and out of different areas of the earth and see the way that these resonant frequencies were going into and out of form and affecting each other on all levels. And like and these are and they were also being affected by the radio frequencies that were traveling around from the satellites and everything. And I think that's an important thing to note. So that gave me the realization that if we can spread some of this information, make some of it more widespread about the human aura and how we can build it through intention and make it stronger, and how everything has an aura, we can definitely start to build a better society, in my opinion, through collective resonant frequencies. And that's why they say loving your plants helps them grow better. But what if we can, what if we can set these intentions and expand a little bit on that, the way some of these mystics have been trying to do for thousands of years, now that we have more scientific evidence and more scientific understanding and measurements to support it. Like I said, you can argue all day whether or not you believe that these frequencies and this energy is our essential life force or the essence of consciousness. That's not scientifically proven, but what is scientifically proven is that we all have these fields, and that these fields can affect the people around us and everything around us. So I think it's powerful information. And, also, like we talked about constructive interference of waves and destructive interference, electromagnetic energy is not all good, and it's also not bad. Those are not relative or relevant adjectives to really use for it. Just like how we've talked about shadows and light and dark, and neither one of them are inherently positive or negative in the way that our modern human mind would like to understand them. Darkness is only negative in the sense that it's the lack of light, so it's negative of light, but it's not inherently bad. Darkness is necessary, light is necessary. Too much darkness is a bad thing, but too much light is a bad thing as well. Too much light, too much sunlight will kill a plant. We all need everything needs the balance of light and darkness. And I talked about that in my shadows video. And I've been sharing that a lot. And some of you guys might be sick of hearing me say it, but it's necessary to recognize because these frequencies, these electromagnetic frequencies, some people talk about positive frequencies and negative frequencies. And that's only a relative perspective you can take. But these frequencies just have an infinite wide range, and there's no positive or negative. There's only positive and negative in the sense that you have, this one thing and then a different thing, that they're different. So to separate the two, you can give them different adjectives, but they're just a range of frequencies. And my point is that a lot of the frequencies that are emitted by human technology and a lot of the radio waves that are traveling all around us that we're all aware of, but we don't see them. There's just massive amounts of information being transmitted all over the world, all around our bodies at all times. Some of these frequencies are they cause destructive interference, and there's been a lot of rising concern about man-made electromagnetic waves having a negative effect on us. Some people think it causes cancer or can cause increased anxiety, and we know very well that sound frequencies can have a strong effect on us psychologically and physically. So, yeah, a lot of man-made technology causes a lot of frequencies that are not in tune with the natural frequencies we experience, and this may be causing destructive interference with us. So the best way to combat that or to defend against that is to try to build and amplify our resonant frequencies together collectively, through good music and meditation and and communication. The spoken word, especially vowels, hold a lot of power. Vowels actually create a toroidal shape, and it varies depending on the vowel. I'm going to do a whole separate video about that, but the spoken word holds a lot of energy, and the fact that we are transmitting these words all over the world and sharing them with so many groups of people, if we can set the intention to speak better and to think better collectively, and I think it has been happening for a long time, we can build this resonant frequency, and hopefully our constructive interference will cancel out a lot of those EMFs and radio frequencies that might be having a negative effect on us. And that is what I saw. That was the revelation I had from my dream. So yeah, that's about it. Yeah, different layers of the aura, and they resonate with different colors of the chakra. I didn't really talk about rainbow chakras. That could be almost like viewing the chakra through a prism lens. And like I've talked about last week, how different chakras represent different emotions and different personality types. Depending on the color of your aura, you can tell which chakra might be out of balance just by studying the colors of your aura. And that's why a lot of mystics, when they do aura readings for people, they might talk about the most prominent colors and which colors seem weak. And this is a direct reflection of how balanced that relative chakra is. And that's why white auras seem to be associated with the most enlightened beings throughout history. And it is shown in different art from all over the world. Not just Christian art either. It's also, it's seen in Buddhist art and ancient Egyptian art and Greek And even all the way back to Mesopotamia, they showed figures depicted that were surrounded by these some sort of energy field, whatever you want to call it. So, so yeah, that's just about everything I wanted to talk about. Now that we got through that, we can chill a little bit. Now I can relax. I'm going to take that whole section there and edit that down for a future video, and I'll add a bunch of graphics and stuff like that. But yeah, and now we can chill. If anyone pops in that wants to ask any type of questions, or if anyone's curious about anything, let me know. I'm gonna go over to Facebook real quick and see if any of my people got my post. Yeah, I don't think so. YouTube is bumping, but it's quiet over there on Facebook for a Friday night. So how's everyone feeling out there? How many of you have seen the aura? I'm wondering if you feel like you've seen the aura, or if you can confirm that you've definitely felt it. Hit me up in the comments, let me know. And if you would like more tips on how to see the aura, you can hit me up. You know, we can give personalized tips, but also check out all of my visualization tips and tricks videos that I used to put up every Thursday. Yeah, I'm gonna share this out to my Facebook page. Oh, you know what? I could send it in Messenger too. I should try that. But yeah, that's the gist of it. Uh, I got, I have a video on sacred geometry and the nature of reality. It talks about a lot of shapes, which we talk about the Merkaba. And in ancient Jewish mysticism, the Merkaba is usually recognized as the shape of that energy that's surrounding the human body, also known as the chariot, or the vessel that guides people from one world to the other. But that's more, definitely check out that video on sacred geometry and the nature of reality. My video on particles and waves goes real deep with the scientific information about how we're all surrounded by fields and waves of energy. And I talk more about constructive and destructive interference in that. It's all about waves and frequencies, but you can't talk about waves and frequencies without talking about particles. So that's a great one that I would recommend. And then the human aura came after the chakras. So it'd be great to watch the video on chakras that we did last week to better understand the human aura. Now, depending on which chakra is is the most balanced, that will be the chakra that's the most balanced will be the one that will mostly determine the color of your aura, generally. Yeah, so I'm just gonna share this out now. Now that we're done with the session, I'm gonna just see who's out there, chop it up with some of you guys. I know nobody was expecting me up here tonight. Dee Dee, hopefully you'll see this in the future. I know you will. I know you're gonna watch this. Shout out to you. As most of you probably see, I'm still sharing out that shadow work video. There's just so much to that, so I wouldn't hmm, I wouldn't wanna miss out on anything. That's why I'm definitely being thorough with chopping that one up and sharing it. But yeah, next will be I think next will be the angels and demons. Maybe I should do the chakra video from last week though. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments when you see this, Didi. Let me know how you feel. Yeah, I'm just sharing this shit out to everyone, even though I'm almost done now and it don't matter anymore. It's cool. Maybe we can build up some of the initial views for this in the first 24 hours. I might even have to flip the hat backwards for this. Yeah, it's been a great session. Been a lot of fun. I might even take over the TikTok after this. I got some new stuff to put up over there. As much as I was always critical of the TikTok community, I can't lie. They've been quite responsive and engaging lately. So that's been really cool. Jay, you said you have a social network as well? Jiku Yeah, shout out to Jiku. Go check it out, people. Yeah, I'm branching out, man, and I'll definitely start to get more into that. I basically gave up on Instagram. Oh, GQ chat. Okay. Basically gave up on Instagram, gave up on X or Twitter. I'm sorry, but it doesn't resonate with me, man. I'll still post to all of them periodically, but I'm gonna focus on the ones that I can navigate the best, which is Facebook, obviously. But Facebook is great for like old high school friends and family and people I've been connected with for a long time. But it's not the best way to reach the world. And I've realized that uh, YouTube and TikTok have been the best so far with getting everything out there more widespread, especially YouTube. But I do envision one day seeing Jiku Land and Jiku Chat as being much more prominent in that field. And we could definitely build that up and bring the communities over there. Um, that's what I would hope for. And then also I need to get more stuff up there on Jiku Shop and start selling stuff from there because like I said, the one company I'm using, they only work in the US and a lot of my listeners are outside of the country. So like that doesn't do me any good. And then Etsy with all their extra fees, although it gives me the ability to be discovered from by people that are searching for things to buy, it's not the way to go. So I got to get back on that GQ shop and update my stuff there. And yeah, man, definitely want to hit you up. Also, I need a place to put my music for sale because I was trying to put it on Bandcamp, but I'm having issues because I don't have the original WAV files for a lot of my music. I mean, most of it I do, especially like the last two projects. I got the WAV files for that, but most of my old stuff, the MP3s only exist. I guess of course, I can convert them, but whatever. Bandcamp doesn't let me upload any of my MP3s. It has to be in WAV format. So, and I've had a few people now ask me where they can buy my music from. And I do have an old album available on Bandcamp, like Name Your Own Price. I would love to maybe if we could incorporate that. Yo, thank you, Jay. Thank you. Thank you. I'm one of the best lyricists you ever heard. I appreciate that, man. I put a lot into my lyrics, honestly. Yes, but if I could find I need a way to put my music up for sale. I would really like a name your own price type of thing, just like Bandcamp does, but I don't need the restrictions that come with Bandcamp. That Bandcamp drives me crazy, man. So yeah, Jay, if we can work out a way somewhere to make my songs available for people to buy them, and remember that one song I made with the lyric video, and it was like on a paper or something. Yeah, you remember that? See that, and those songs, obviously the production wasn't the best. So I always try to make up for that with the content. Yeah, man. Yeah, that is around the time I met you. I remember that. I remember that, and you've been keeping it real ever since, man. You really have. It's awesome. And I've seen you go through a lot since then, and I'm sure you've witnessed a lot of growth since then. Like honestly, my production was horrible back then, man. It was trash, but yeah, yeah, what was that? What was that song? It was like I remember the beat. I don't even remember what I called it, but it was good. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I really do. But yeah, I know I've been meaning to talk to you, man, and what I've been meaning to ask you was, if there's a way to get my songs up somewhere on the Jiku site, maybe, so that I can send people there to buy them. Not there's not many. It's literally like maybe 4 or 5 people, but the ones that do wanna buy my music are definitely willing to pay for it. And I know if I put up a name your own price, there's gonna be a few of them that are gonna be really, really generous with how much they pay. They just Yeah, let's get on the phone. Alright, man, definitely, definitely, yeah. Yeah, we gotta work that out because 'cause I'm missing out right now. People keep asking me where they can find my music, and the only songs I have available, like, and I'm just so some of them I'm over here just, like, emailing my shit to them, and it's like, but if people are willing to pay to support, then I definitely don't wanna miss out on any opportunities, so, yeah, man, that would be cool, definitely, we gotta talk. And actually, there's a few things, but yeah, yeah, I'll hit you up, I'm just gonna call you, so 'cause I've been waiting on you to call me, but I know, like, man, I know, everyone's busy, and I'm busy too, so but I'm just gonna hit you up, man, and hopefully you answer, and if you don't answer, I'm just gonna call back another time, so, yeah, I'll definitely be hitting you up. And I got my homie was gonna come over tonight actually to help me fix my computer and get it to work again so I can record music. 'Cause I've been on it. He's been over here, like, 3 times so far, and then I did something a couple weeks ago, and I fucked it up, so he's gonna come over here. I was trying to add RAM to it, and I did it, and now nothing's working, so he was gonna come over tonight until I told him I'm doing my live tonight, but so he's gonna come over tomorrow. You said we sell laptops on the site? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I honestly, I don't need anything. I just need to make the stuff that I have work. So, and what I have, there's no reason why I can't make it work. I'm just not very good with that shit. So homie's gonna come. He's gonna get me set up tomorrow night. I've already invested enough into this setup. I gotta make it work now. And then I'm gonna be recording. Then I'll be looking for a new software. He might even get me set up with one. 'Cause I got so much music and it's building up and like it's eating me inside. I gotta get it out of me. I gotta get it out to the world. Like I've been reciting these songs over and over, and that's satisfying too. I have literally enjoy reciting my music. And I even do it in the car on the way home from work and stuff. I'll throw on the beats and just go over the songs. But I'm always sharpening my swords. I just need to be able to record. So in the next few weeks, like tomorrow night, he's gonna get me set up. So hopefully over the next few weeks, I'll be building that new album. It always takes me longer than I want it to, but I would say around the beginning of next year, I should have all the songs recorded and ready. I should come to your studio and record one day. I would love that, man. I would love that. I definitely will, man. I'm gonna take you up on that offer. I swear. I'll come through. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. But regardless, and I do have access to studios. Like it's not like I don't. And some of them are free, and like some of them there's a major studio, and it's like 30 bucks an hour, which is not bad. Homie really hooks me up, and he'll do all the production for me right then and there too. But there's something about having my own setup at home that just makes it way more productive in the long run. So I need to get this set up and really get to work on this. But I'm gonna take you up on that offer, man. I'm telling you right now. I will come by, and I would definitely love to drop some projects in your studio there, and we could work together on something. Definitely. That would be crazy actually. That'd be like a dream come true. Because like I said, man, I've been following you for a while now. I know you said you found me from that one song back then, but how long ago was that? It's been a minute, man. It really has been. You're doing a big promo for the label soon. Okay, that's why you need to talk to me? Okay, cool. Cool, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'll talk to you. I will hit you up. Whatever you wanna do for that label, I can shout it out as much as you want. I could share it out to my group, let my people know. Uh, yeah, man, even if you want me to make a fucking yo, oh yeah, One Mic Music, of course. Even if you want me to make like a 30-second song, like a one mic shout out, paying homage, like big up, whatever, like a quick 12 bar something, or like a hook. Whatever, man, I would love to do that, actually. I would love to make, like, a little one mic. Oh, you said I'm on there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I know, man. I know. One mic music. Yeah, I'll shout it out in every song that I'm making now. But it'd be cool to record a little promo song or something for one mic music. That'd be cool. Yeah, I'm gonna hit you up. I definitely will. That's good shit. And once I get my songs up for sale, that's gonna get that ball rolling, man. Time to make history. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Time to make some major waves. Build that resonant frequency, that constructive interference, like I was talking about before. Yo, I'm down, man. I'm down, definitely. I've never been more ready, actually. I'm finally at a point in my life where I've never been more focused than I have been in the last year or two. Actually, it's going on like 2 years now that I've really been focused on like building this brand, and like posting consistently and engaging and just building awareness. And obviously, like it's my personal brand, but I'll carry One Mic Music everywhere with me too, man. Why not? Like, because I'm not one thing that I'll never be is, like, I'll never be a great producer, man, and I don't necessarily wanna be. I do produce my own music, and I will continue to do it, and I've gotten to a point where it sounds good. I can make my stuff sound good, but I'm not a producer. Like, I'm not. And, like, as I'm sure you know too, as far as, like, promotion and stuff like that, that's just not my niche. Like, I'll do what I can, but yeah, I know I'm on One Mic Music, man, definitely, and I'm down with it for sure. I just need to make some music, man. It's been killing me. It's been, like, about 2 years since I've been able to, especially, like, since we moved here, my computer hasn't worked, but I'm ready, and once I do get set up, I've got better equipment than I had before. I just need to be able to use it. So yeah, One Mic Music all day. We'll definitely talk about that, man. Whatever you need on my end, let me know. I'm definitely here for it. It's gonna be a hell of a journey. The reason you haven't promoted is because 'cause you've been building the social network. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, man, I totally understand that. That's what I'm trying to do here right now. That's the reason why, like, if I do promote something, I'm at the point where I might get, like, 4 or 5 solid responses, but I'm definitely confident that if I keep building in the direction that I am, the social network will be strong enough to really make a wave when I do go to promote something. So I see you doing that, and I'm doing the same thing over here, man. So believe me, once that traction builds, it's definitely it's going to be powerful, and that'll definitely help with the promotion. Like, believe me, man, if I had like a crazy amount of followers right now, I would throw out, one mic, whatever, and I would definitely get people flowing in that direction real quick. I got no problem with that. It's just that, I'm still working on building that social network, as you see. But it's going great. And now that I've shifted from Facebook to YouTube here, I'm just, every week it's green arrows. Like everything's been going up. Not in the viral sense, but it's still been slow but steady, very, very steady. And I'm happy for that, and I really think if I keep focusing over here on YouTube, I could get this to take off. I really do. I will get monetized pretty soon here, and, I'm sure you're well aware of it. Oh, you've been building Jiku Chat. Yeah, I get it, I get it. There's around 30 apps connected to it. Okay, that's powerful. Recently, a few people have asked me or told me that I need to make a dreaming app. I don't know if we could incorporate that maybe one day. I told them that takes time and money, and when I do have a little bit of extra funds, if I can, build whatever side project to help pay for that. But I would love to have a dreaming app because I got a lot of good ideas, to help people as far as like mental health, insomnia, anxiety, depression, addiction, all those things. Yeah, I think I could, if we can make a dreaming app, there's already some out there that do specific things, but I've got some unique ideas, and I think we can build something that could really help people actually. And I was just talking to someone about that, but I explained to her like, first you need money to do it. Nobody's gonna want to pay for an app like that. And if I do get them to pay, or if I want to get people to pay, I need to build a bigger following to where, I drop the app and hundreds of people at least go and download it. So right now, I know if I were to make that dreaming app, I could get a handful of people to use it. But and I know it takes money to maintain them, right? Just to keep up with them and stuff. And I don't want like a glitchy app. If I got the app, I want it to work good. So like I would be willing to invest in that for sure. I just have to get some other people on board to invest in it with me. Oh, Didi, what up? Yes, yes, I'm online now. The session is over with, like the first hour or whatever. I covered the human aura, resonant frequencies, lots of electromagnetism in there, toroidal flow of energy, and things like that. So you can watch the replay, or I don't know if you're able to rewind it now, but and of course you could always wait for the edited version. But yeah, I talked about auras basically. Jay, you said you're gonna start writing your dreams. You be telling the future with your dreams. Yeah, you should. Yo, I'll send you a dream journal, man. I got Dreamkeeper journals that I sell. I'll send you some for free. Yeah, they're good. It's good, man. Keeping a journal and writing your dreams is powerful. That's the first step in any type of dream practice. Whether you wanna understand yourself on a deeper spiritual level, a psychological level, there's different lenses you can view it from, but you had a dream once and it was super scary. Yeah, it was a nuke coming down on us. That's actually a very common dream. Uh, a good friend of mine, Chelsea, and, others a few other people, and I've got some videos about it where we've talked about apocalyptic dreams, and that is a very, very common theme, and I know how deeply scary that could be. I've had some apocalyptic dreams, not with nukes, but and Didi, I know you've had some. Didi, you said it's a great topic. Can't wait to watch it. Yeah, yeah. I tried. As you know, these YouTube chats lately kind of get flooded with different comments, and I was trying to weave my way through the comments as I was laying out the information without getting too distracted and trying to stay engaged. Jay, you said your girl had a dream of a flood and then a hurricane happened. Yeah. There's also, yeah, man, we've had dream sessions here where we've talked about dreams telling the future. So weird. Yeah. And Didi, we were just talking about how I have to do an updated version of premonitions in dreams and precognitive dreams and just how dreams can potentially tell the future and all the evidence for that and all the historical cases where that's happened and all the anecdotal cases where it seems to have happened. And Jay, yeah, it's a real thing. Telling the future in your dreams is actually pretty common, and even a lot of non-believers out there, like non-spiritual people in any type of way, I've had that conversation with them, and they seem fascinated and dumbfounded by it. The type of people where you can't get them to think on any type of deeper level, and then something like that comes up, and you point it out to them, and you see that light bulb moment. You said you had dreams talking to your dead friends. You still didn't recover from that. Yeah, man. They all said they don't have enough time to talk to me. They all had to leave. Yeah, well, man, again, we've had full sessions where we've actually talked about, yeah, talking to dead loved ones or just people who have passed on in your dreams. I interviewed a homie that I used to do shows with back in the day. We used to rap together. And, there was these battle showcases called Mic Wars, and I met this really, really cool dude named Anthony, and, he he talks to dead people, and he's had full-blown conversations in his dreams with them and relayed that information accurately to people in the waking life. There's also, though, I've speculated a lot because some people believe that every character you see in your dream is just a personification of some aspect of your own personality merged with some of your memories. And I've seen it stated as a scientific fact a lot, but it's definitely not a scientific fact. But people say any face that you see in your dream is a face that you've seen before in your waking life because the brain can't configure brand new things. Now that's a bunch of nonsense because we can, just like with AI or with clip art, we can piece different things together to come up with some seemingly unique things. I have no doubt in my mind about that. I've seen faces that couldn't have possibly existed in my waking life. Dee Dee, you said that was such a great session with Anthony. You recommend anyone to watch it? Yeah, yeah. I did an interview with him. I think did we get him up twice? I think we might have got him up twice. Two different interviews. I know I was supposed to do it again with him and then never got around to it. But yeah, Anthony's the man, and he had a lot of great insights on that. Really interesting. Jay, you said as soon as he died, the same day you went to sleep and he was in your room, you had an out of body experience and you smoked, but very fast. Man, you're really just throwing it all out there. Yeah, I also had an interview with a guy from Germany named Theo, and he talked about his out of body experiences. Yeah, yeah, out of body experiences are a real thing. But my question is, if you saw these people in your dream and you were talking to them in the dream world, then was that an out of body experience? Or was that an inner psyche experience? Are all dreams out of body experiences? That's the question. The answer might be yes. Or did you have a perceived out of body experience? There's a difference, you know. Either way, I mean, regardless, I mean, those are the questions that I ask, but that doesn't take away from the significance of any of the symbolism that you experienced. I just wonder, you know, I really wonder. But yeah, and I know sometimes these dreams can seem super, super real, but I don't believe that every time someone talks to a dead loved one in their dream, I don't believe that it's the individual energy of that loved one. I think it can be, and I think sometimes it is. And it's just, I don't think that's always the case. I think sometimes it is just a recreation from your memories to bring some sort of comfort. You said he told me he knew he was dead and he wants you to promote his music still. Damn. Honestly, if I ever died, I would do the same thing. You know, they say don't die with your music still in you, and I've literally been thinking about that since I was like 14, 15 years old. I want to get these songs out, and if I ever did die, hopefully people would at least try to let me live on through that. Please share my music because that is my soul speaking. It really is. And that's when I started to put my songs out there, even if they sounded like shit. I really didn't care. I just had to get it out there. I had to get that piece of myself out there. So I could believe that because that's, it almost because I'm not gonna lie. When I read your comment, it kind of sounds funny. Like he said he wants you to promote his music still, but that's something that I would say honestly if I could. If I died and I could reach you, and that's something I've always thought. Even if I have unfinished songs on my computer and stuff, I always hoped that if I died, someone would go and find them and put them out, please. I mean, I know I'm not like Tupac or nothing, so no one's gonna be really there's no value, you know, but like I really just always hope that I don't want any of my music to ever die, because I know I'm gonna die. My songs are great. Thank you. Thank you. No, I know. I mean, I love, I love my music. And people will play them. I know that. Even if it's, whoever, whatever, it's out there and it exists. So, and I'm grateful, Didi, for people like you, because I know you'll play them. I know you still do. And my family, my friends, hopefully it's out there because that is, and that's another reason why it's been great doing these videos. Like even once I'm gone, I've seen that post that was circulating around, and it's a great one, and it says how, like, do you know how well do you know your great great grandparents, and how well do you know their siblings, and then how well do you know your great 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 grandparents, and it only takes like a few generations for you to completely be forgotten. And there's a lot of truth to that, but those great great grandparents didn't exist in a time when we had the internet, where we could store information in the cloud. and put it out here like this. So and I mean, I've looked up my family and dug through as much as I could find, but there's only so much information from back then. But I'd like to think a few generations down the line, these videos are still gonna be out there. You know, unless there's a like a major apocalypse or some sort of catastrophe in which case none of this will even matter anyway. But yo, what up, Chris? Is that you? Is that Chris? Chris? Is it? What up, man? It's got to be you. Hell yeah. But yeah, that's why, like, if I could, if my great great grandfather had videos on the internet out there where he was talking to people like this, the way I am, I would love to go back and watch them. So I hope, even when I do die, like my kids can watch these and still get a glimpse of my personality and hopefully get some sort of wisdom and have some sort of connection still, you know? Knowledge. Yeah, King Lion Dog. Yeah. Knowledge, man. Knowledge. Oh, you sorry you're late? Yo, Chris. Nah, don't be sorry. I didn't even share this with you, and I didn't even share this out really to any of you guys until the session was done. I was having trouble figuring it out, and I just started rolling, and I went through the whole session. That's like the first hour of this video. And then I was chilling, so I figured maybe I'd just share it out and see what's up. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I was talking about auras and all that, but now we're chilling. Uh, Mostly talking about music. But man, life is good. I talked to Ryan earlier. He called me and he was gonna come through and set up my computer and get it all fixed because I must have messed it up. But I told him I was going live tonight, so he's gonna come over tomorrow. Hopefully, by the end of the night tomorrow, we can have it all set up and I'll be able to do that stream through the computer like I was telling you, Chris. And then our interviews will go much smoother because I was using like OBS Studio. And the way it brings up the split screen and everything, it's so much better. I just have to get this computer working again. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. It also one of the best things that it does is it separates our audio. So if one person's louder than the other or whatever, I can manipulate the audio separately, which is gonna help for the replay value a lot, especially like when I download them and try to edit them and shit. So yeah, that'll be cool. That will be awesome. But yeah, I'm chilling. I mean, I'm about to call it a night, honestly. I've been rambling for an hour and 46 minutes now. Yeah, yeah, the separated audio. It also like it's gonna be I mean, for me, well, in general, doing it through OBS Studio will help with the image quality and the audio quality. But I got this camera that's like also has a light and it's gonna be better, much better image quality than what I have here. And it allows me to use my good microphone because it's going through the computer, and that will definitely increase my audio. Didi, you said they say children are born with the ability to see auras, but they can lose it if or when they're born. In the room, oh, if when they're born in the room there's an electric light on. Did you hear about that? Is there any logic in it? No, I've never heard that. Is there any logic in it? Uh, I don't see that. It's easy to see how over time we can lose the ability to see auras in general, but I don't know about if they're born with an electric light on, they'll instantly lose the ability to see them. No, honestly, I wouldn't believe that because I mean, I've heard of and talked to, there's a lot of people out there that can see auras, or they claim they can. I know I can. I couldn't always, but a lot of people claim they've always been able to see them, and it's natural for them. Unless those people are just crazy and hallucinating or lying, if any of those people are telling the truth, then I would say that's probably not true, because just about everyone in in modern days was born in a room with an electric light on. Chris, you said you know people who can see auras. They were probably all born in a hospital with lights on. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like it maybe all these people that we know, the ones that can see auras and claim they always have, maybe for some reason they were born in a room that didn't have electric lights on, but I highly doubt that. So yeah, I don't see that. But I mean, it's that's a fun thought. But no, I don't. And like it wouldn't really make total sense to me. Like, it would make sense that it might slightly inhibit it, like I was talking about before, through destructive interference, but I'm not seeing that, no. Yo, Robin Hood, what's good, man? I remember you. I remember you. How you doing? We're back. I mean, the session is kinda over, but I'm still here, so yeah, we're good. How you doing, homie? Chris, you said electricity and light are different energies from auras. Sure, sure. And in general, we're talking about the electromagnetic frequency that's emitted from the human body in different parts of the human body. And we all know, and I mean, I talked about it earlier in the session. The brain emits an electromagnetic frequency. The Institute of Heart Math and other different organizations have shown through lots of different studies that the heart has an electromagnetic frequency. And I mean, the synapses in our brain produce electricity, and electricity is inseparable from magnetism. So, Didi, you said you wonder if our planet has an aura. Yes, the planet does have an aura, in the sense that the planet is surrounded by an electromagnetic field that's measurable and observable, and that's what makes the magnetic poles, and it flows in a toroidal pattern from north to south. So, and yes, every atom has an electromagnetic frequency. Chris, you said it's blue. Okay, the colors of the aura is another conversation, because I mean, it's generally understood that the color of the aura is gonna reflect which chakra is most imbalanced, or most powerful, or most amplified. And like that's why a white aura is usually associated with the most enlightened beings, 'cause that would be the collection of all the colors. And then there's rainbow auras. Chris, you said the sky is blue. Okay. Okay. No, but and these subtle energies can exist in different measurable ways, but the most obvious and the most scientifically available way is through measuring the electromagnetic fields. And I mentioned it earlier, the electromagnetic fields that we emit as human beings, they exist in the ELF and the RF ranges, which is extremely low frequencies, and radio frequencies, which are below the visible electromagnetic spectrum. Robin Hood, you said, does natural chemistry between certain people have to do with aura? Yes, big time. And that's actually been proven by the Institute of Heart Math, and not just them, but also Dr. Valerie Hunt from the University of California in Los Angeles. She also measured electromagnetic fields around human bodies and correlated them with changes in emotions and physiological states in people. and she actually mapped this out. You can look this up. But also the Institute of Heart Math has connected different emotional and, neurochemical states that are affected. So, so that's what resonance is all about. I think most of us understand resonant frequencies, like, if you have 2 guitars side by side, if you were to pluck the E string on one guitar, the E string on the guitar right next to it will start to vibrate more subtly, but that will be the one that responds through resonant frequency. They do the experiments with tuning forks too. You bang one tuning fork and resonant frequency causes the other one to pick it up. So frequencies can affect each other, and there's 3 different ways that they can affect each other. The one is through constructive interference, and that's when the frequency of the waves are syncopated so that the peaks of the waves hit each other at the same time, making larger waves. That's constructive interference. There's destructive interference. If one wave is at a peak, but one is at a dip, it can cancel it out. And then there's also a complex interference, which is much smaller erratic waves of having an effect on the other waves. But regardless, yes, like I said, the Institute of Heart Math has measured the electromagnetic frequency of the heart. They can measure it from 3 to 5 feet away, and they've shown that when two people come in contact within that range, their heart, their frequency of their hearts start to syncopate, and they start to match through resonance. Thank you, Chris. Robin Hood, you said be right back. Okay, because I'm still answering that question because not only, I've specifically had asked ChatGPT that question because I was curious, but yes, and it's pretty obvious and it makes sense that the frequency that's emitted from the heart has a direct effect on the frequency of the brain. The Institute of Heart Math has shown that. Oh, earlier I was wrong. I said that the heart's electrical field is, I said it was 30 times. It's actually the heart's electrical field is 60 times, about 60 times greater in amplitude than the brain's electromagnetic field. So the aura, or the energy of the heart, is much stronger than the energy of the brain. And that would explain why emotional states can have such a strong effect on our mind state and our brain chemistry. But through focus and intention, you can amplify and build the feedback through any one of these centers. So, we know that our thoughts can affect our emotions, but most of the time, our emotions are driving our thoughts. Chris, you said, wouldn't that be because the heart is doing more work? Potentially, yeah. There's more electricity being produced by the heart because it is more active and doing more work. Sure, sure, because it's more directly connected to our entire central nervous system than most people realize. But I mean, we could speculate all day. It's also because really, what I believe the reason for that is because the heart. I'm not wrong about this, right? The heart is the center chakra. You have the root chakra, the sacral chakra, where are we at? Yeah, I think the heart is the center of all of our chakras, and that would be like the center of this toroidal field that we were talking about, which would make sense that that's where most of the energy is focused. Yeah, yeah, I think that's why, personally. There's also, like, what they call frequency locking, and that's when 2 frequencies come into resonance together, and then even after they separate for whatever extended period of time, they will stay in resonance. And that's like I said, everything is emitting an electromagnetic frequency, even not just all living things, but literally everything, even our atoms. Most of us understand, and we've talked about that when we touch something, you never actually touch it. It's separated by our electromagnetic field, the electromagnetic field of our actual atoms. And what we're feeling is the sensation from that electromagnetic field. So when they say that we never touch anything, and that was something I was thinking about earlier, we might not physically touch these things, but energetically, we actually are always touching everything as far as I can see it, because our electromagnetic field is touching the other electromagnetic field, and that's emitting electromagnetic fields that we're all connected by. And I've seen the auras around trees. I was talking about that earlier. I mean, they have a beautiful, steady flowing, majestic type of aura about them, especially, especially a strong, healthy tree. And, our planet also has an aura or a strong electromagnetic field around it. All of these auras flow in the toroidal pattern, and we're all connected to them. We're also surrounded by these things, and it's just I really believe that these this energy is what connects all of us, and if we can like collectively start to amplify these and build a resonant frequency between large groups of people, especially with the way that we can connect around the world like this, and if we can bring those frequencies into resonance with everything around us, the plants, the animals, and ultimately the entire planet and maybe even the entire universe, that might be how we reach transcendence. I don't know. Or, that might just be the best way to keep increasing life for us and everything around us is through consciously building these resonant frequencies so that we're causing constructive interference on a large scale instead of destructive interference, because I was talking about that earlier. A lot of the electromagnetic frequencies that we emit are not in resonance with the electromagnetic frequencies that are emitted from a lot of man-made technology. And a lot of people talk about how different electromagnetic magnetism around us could be the cause for a lot of cancer, or could that at least have something to do with it. But there's also electromagnetic therapy. And I mentioned earlier how crystals can help to transmutate some of this energy, which is definitely scientifically proven. And I went in on that in the first hour here. So so it's not all good. We have to sometimes we might have to find ways to counteract the destructive interference that we're experiencing. Didi, you said still, what if we're all born with the ability to see auras, but the electric light is shortcutting some impulses, and the ones that still see the auras are the ones with stronger abilities. I guess maybe, but I would think that if that was the case, there would be an overwhelming amount of references and writings from before the time of electric lights. Then I would think that just everyone would always be seeing auras, and it would have been, I mean, maybe I think it would have just been, like, everywhere, and it wouldn't even be debated these days then. Maybe not, or is that information being suppressed? But no, I would think, like, even, like, in just about every story and every book and everything, there would be a lot more mentions of that if everyone was just naturally born with that. Maybe they did. Witches, yeah, but the witches were the minority, right? generally. So I'm saying if it was everybody, and if it's electric lights that stop us from seeing them, then everybody would have still kept seeing them back then. I think it's the I mean, I could be totally wrong, but I'd say just about the amount of people that used to be witches, or at least be accused of being witches or claim to be witches back then, were definitely the vast minority, and they killed every different human. Sure, they may have killed every different human, but if everybody was naturally born with the ability to see auras, then I mean, you know, they all would have just been killing themselves then. What? I mean, I don't know. Like, it would have been, it's just, I think it would have been much more widespread, and it's not like the literature and the references to auras have lessened, have become less since the Industrial Revolution and modern electric lights. I mean, yes, they were definitely prominent in most religious and spiritual texts, but I mean, there's more books today than you could even imagine about the human aura and how to see it and work with it. It's not, and there's still a lot of people that claim to see these things and work with them. I don't know. You were just messing around, nothing logical. I mean, no, it's a good, actually, because I didn't think about that. I've never thought about that. And like, without thinking about it right off the top of my head, I mean, it sounds like there could be something to it, and maybe there is. But, the more I think about it, the more it's not adding up to me. Still, they might have been eliminated, maybe, but I still, like I said, unless people are just straight up lying, I still know people, like, personally, I know people who claim that they've been able to see them their entire life naturally. So, maybe, I mean, they weren't all eliminated, I don't know. Or maybe just mostly silenced, I don't know. But there seems to be actually a decent amount. If you go to a place like Salem, you'll hear there's most of the people around there, that they all kinda join together in that city and talk about things like that all the time. Whatever small percentage of the population is, they all get concentrated in that one location. That's why I love Salem so much. And you can also go to Salem, and I've seen it. I never personally had it done. I talked about it earlier, where they can take a picture of your aura, through Kirlian photography. Oh, you were just asking yourself out loud. Yeah, no, it's a good thought. It's an interesting question. It really is. And I was talking about that before. Like, I had to sit through hundreds, literally hundreds of different YouTube videos. And I'm playing them while I'm driving, while I'm doing the dishes, because I'm trying to definitely, like, freshen up and get as much information about this stuff as I can about the human aura. And there is so much nonsense. Like, literally, people say things with such conviction, and if you don't double check it or question it, then, like, they just get away with it. And, like, even last week, I talked about it from the light sound bridge, where they say that, you multiply the frequencies of do re mi fa sol la ti, and you get the frequencies of the light spectrum, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. So, and he said, he literally said with such conviction, he was so confident that if you multiply those frequencies of those sounds by the speed of light, you get the the seven colors. And then he just goes on. He kept referencing that. He kept talking about the light sound bridge and how powerful it was. And people in the comments just kept talking about it, and we're all fascinated. I couldn't believe I was the only one to question it. I'm not just gonna take that at face value, so I went to my calculator and did the math, and it was not adding up for me in any type of way. And like I said, I tried to shift it from 440 hertz to, if you do it relative to 432 hertz instead, what it used to be before they changed it, still didn't add up. It was off, like I said, I forget what it was, by like about 900 billion or something. And then like the other one was like 923 billion or something with the and then I ran that through Chat GPT and through this other AI app that I have that's more tuned for scientific inquiry. It's called Perplexity. And I asked both of them, and I'm trying to come up with some way to multiply these numbers to get the 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 frequencies of the colors on the light spectrum. And there's just no clean, logical way to do it. It was way off, way, way off. So, and I was just mad, that he was, like I said, I still think there is correlation between the two of them being 7 and 7 and all that. I'm not mad at that. But and I talked about it earlier, vowels do definitely, sounds in general, but especially spoken vowels, they create toroidal shapes and definitely have an effect on our chakras in lots of different ways. But it just goes to show, like, don't, some people are so confident with things, and then they'll just share that information and pass it along. And because it sounds good, people will just repeat it without questioning it. And that's the type of stuff that bothers me. Because then that's when, that's like, those are the type of things that can get you caught up in an argument. But yeah, I mean, it's always good to ask those questions and to pick those things apart and to try to find those connections. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how we come to deeper understanding about everything. Data is needed to prove everything. I mean, you know me. Some things are beyond s- statistical data, but yeah, yeah, definitely double check everything. Yeah, and that's what I do. And actually, I could even show you that video. I left a comment under that video for that guy, and I asked people in the comments section. I said, if anyone knows more about this, and if I'm doing any of my math wrong, please let me know. But I told them what my results were, and I just told him that he's straight up wrong, and it doesn't seem to make any sense. Other than that, I gave him props for the information he was sharing, and I showed some respect. It wasn't like I didn't leave like a hating comment. It was seriously just curious, like, why isn't this adding up for me? I'm not seeing it. If it does make sense in any type of way, I'd like to know. No, nobody reached out, and I'm telling you, this is a popular video. This dude's got millions of subscribers, and, I could show, he does, like, these bro science videos. I can't think of his name, but that's what he calls it, bro science. And it's like, yeah, and there's lots of comments on that, people always watching it, and no, nobody responded to my comment in any type of way. Sounds fishy just from that. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And again, I didn't do it in like a hateful type of way or like an antagonistic way. I'm just, I want to know. I'd like to know. That's because that's a great thought. It's an interesting thought to me. And then that maybe, I think I ruled everything out. Like I said, I tried it in a few different ways, and I can't. And you could try the math yourself. I mean, anybody can, but it doesn't. The light sound bridge is just a vague concept that people spread. Not that there is a bridge between sound and light for sure, but like I said, it's not as clean cut as a lot of the gurus try to make it seem. That's all I'm saying. Doesn't mean that there's no synchronicities with it. But yeah, and so like looking up the human aura, again, there's just a lot of nonsense. I swear sometimes people literally just make stuff up because it seems to sound good, and it at the surface level, it seems to make sense like, at first thought, and they just say it, and it's and that I've there's countless examples that I've been hearing for the last week because 'cause I've been digging into this stuff, and it's just it bothers me, and I still didn't cut these videos off. I don't question everyone or blast them on all their videos. I don't have time for all that, but, I suffered through a lot of nonsense. Chris, you said, so back to auras and frequencies, is constructive dissonance or whatever when two frequencies are the same. They don't have to be the same, but yes, constructive. And I have a video about this that I edited and I added graphics and like I added extra videos to show what it looks like and stuff. But that's in my waves and particles video, I believe. But yes, it's constructive interference is when two waves that are synchronized. They don't have to be the same frequency. They could be like different sizes, but as long as they can match. Constructive interference is when two waves that are at their peak, when they meet, they meet at their peak and they cause one bigger wave. And you can witness this with water, and I'm sure you're well aware. If you get water splashing on two different sides of the pool and the waves come together and they meet at their peak, they splash up and they form a wave that will be double the size of either one wave. And that's just an example, and it does happen. It's also what they observed in the double slit experiment. That's why, oh no, it wasn't my waves and particles video, it was my quantum collapse video, and that's why I talked about it. It's what they observed in the double slit experiment, and it's how they realized that photons can act like particles, but also act like waves because they saw evidence of constructive and destructive interference on the other side of the double slit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Similar. I mean, yeah, the waves are similar. That word works too. They don't, but yeah, synchronized, whatever. And if they can be see the waves can be the same frequency, but if they're not synchronized, they can cause destructive interference. And then if it's a completely different frequency, and it all depends on the source of the wave and the amplitude of the wave, obviously, and there's everything in between. But just, yeah, constructive interference is when the two waves meet at their peak and cause a bigger wave. And then destructive interference is obviously the opposite of that. If the wave is at a dip, when it meets another wave at its height, depending on, like I said, the relative amplitude of it, generally you can say that if it's at a dip, it will just cancel it out, and that's literally how noise canceling headphones work. They that's why noise canceling headphones, they don't just block out sound, it's not just a block. They literally emit a frequency that causes destructive interference, and usually if you read the little booklet on them, it kinda actually talks about it, but that's how noise canceling headphones work, and that's why they work better for, long, steady sounds than for, quick, like, fast sounds. They don't have time to find the relative frequency to give it that destructive interference. But yeah, that's how they cancel out the sound. They find the right frequency that will hit the dips at that sound's peaks and cause it to break down. So to maintain constructive interference, the frequencies would have to be the same. The frequencies would have to be yes, the same frequency, but they don't have to be the same amplitude. But yes, that's what causes them to be synchronized. Yes, yes, and that's how you amplify a frequency. That's how, and that's why, uh, that's how you can charge your crystals, and that's why you can, that's how Reiki works and things like that. These people focus their energy, they match that frequency, and then they build the frequency, they amplify that through constructive interference. And maybe with gemstones, crystals, because we know that they all have their own measurable frequencies, and they affect these frequencies directly. That causes amplification, yes. It causes amplification because, like I said, and you again, you can witness it in water. If these waves are at their peak, when they meet, they're taller. It will be a bigger wave than either one of the two by themselves, because they it will double, literally double or almost double in size or in amplitude. But and if even if they're different amplitudes, uh but they're the same frequency, even at different amplitudes, if they're at their peak, even if this one's not as big as this one, when they meet, it'll still be bigger than either one of the two. And that's why it's constructive. What do I think about personal chemistry? Well, the big question that comes in with all of this is, and it's wild. It's absolutely wild because, and I talked earlier about DMT being produced by the pineal gland, but what is and this is where scientists have their argument. What is the source of these frequencies? Are they emergent properties, or are they fundamental properties? Is it our brain chemistry that directly determines our frequency, or is our frequency directly determining our brain chemistry? And once even if you might agree that the two of them are affecting each other directly at this point, what is the more fundamental source? Didi, you said, DK, maybe in a future session we can talk about nonlinear fractal resonance. They say it can liquefy stone, right? I saw this in Ancient Aliens. They say that's how they built the megalithic structures. Yes, yes, it is. Uh, yeah, I think, yeah, that's really getting out there, but it is definitely possible, and it definitely makes sense that somehow these things can affect the atomic structure of things if you match the right frequency. I can see that because electromagnetic waves do make sound. They make sound when when they're strong enough to have a direct effect on the physical things around us, and that does happen. That's what the buzzing of a light is. I specifically was looking this up. Like, can electromagnetic frequencies be directly translated into sound? And they are all the time around us. We hear them. Of course, they need to be translated through some sort of physical medium, but they still have a directly correlating sound to them. So, which means that they make things vibrate, which means that they're causing some sort of resonance directly on the physical things all around us at all times. So there may be something to that. Chris, you said that frequency. Oh, you said the second one, you think that frequency determines brain chemistry. I agree, because like like I mentioned, everything has a frequency. We're surrounded by frequencies at all times. So as we're being formed in the womb, we're already subjected to our mother's, obviously the frequency that's being emitted from her heart and everything around her, and then everything around her, and anyone that even comes close to her. So we're already being affected by these frequencies as we're forming our brain chemistry. So for the people that argue that these frequencies are an emergent property of our brain chemistry, or our body chemistry, it's not. I don't even think that you can't rule out the origin of frequency, predating brain chemistry. Exactly, yeah, yeah, and, I mean, also, electromagnetic waves travel at the speed of light. There's a lot of arguments that and it's true, obviously, they can be affected, and it can slow down depending on what medium they're traveling through, even in the air, the atmosphere, or through water, which they do travel through, but that affects the speed of them. Regardless, these waves that are being emitted from the heart and from the brain and from all parts of our body, these frequencies are traveling at about the speed of light. So, it's a nearly, at least from our observable perspective, that's a nearly instantaneous effect. Yeah, I do. I believe that frequency is fundamental. I really do. Brain chemistry is a product of evolution, but it's all predated by frequency, and that's what's interesting, in all all of the major origin stories throughout major religions. It's they talk about the origins of the earth or the universe being either through sound or through vibration or movement, which movement, vibration is movement. So, in the beginning was the word, and God moved on the face of the water, or spirit moved on the face of the water. Regardless, in the beginning was the word, and the word is frequency, and that wasn't the word, but words are frequencies. So, yeah, and I do believe that if there is an emergent property, it's not the frequency, it is everything else. But I could be wrong. Good session. Thank you. Yes. It's been about 2.5 hours. I think I'm gonna call it a night. It's like 10:30 now. Uh I started this, yeah. I'm gonna call it a night. Chris, thanks for coming through, man. You guys could definitely check out the first hour, check out the replay if you want, or you could just wait till I edit it and add graphics to it, because that'll be better anyway, if you're just patient. Uh, but because I talked about everything we talked about and some other stuff. And thank you, Didi. Thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. I will definitely keep everyone updated. Life is good. Thanks for coming through. Like I said, I got Ryan coming through to fix the computer. So Chris, I will hit you up, and we'll get set up for a future dream session. If I get this working with the camera and the OBS studio, hopefully we can do it next week. So if you're down for that, I'd say next Sunday, if you're okay with that, if that works out for your schedule. If not, we'll make it work. But yeah, man, I'm gonna hit you up. We'll do something. Peace and love, everyone. Thank you, Didi. Thank you, Chris.